Well, here's today's project. I finally pulled the trigger and got a brand new used grapple bucket, 72-inch, for my skid steer. I rented one quite a few times and I finally said, you know what, I gotta have one. So I bought this from a guy local. He bought it for his John Deere and he sold the tractor and just wanted to sell this outright. He didn't want to sell it back to the company because the shipping charge was so high. So I got a skid steer quick attach plate right here. I have to cut off the John Deere hookups and weld the plate on it for my skid steer, and I have to take the John Deere hydraulic fittings off and put the skid steer ones on it. Other than that, it's the same thing. So let's get her uncrated and get started. I'm predicting that this is going to be pretty time consuming to grind. I got to grind all these welds off all the way around on these plates. Bottom one, do the same on the other side, and of course they're welded on that side, so I'm going to have to get my grinder wheel in there, try to cut as much weld off as I can, and then chisel them. So yeah, I think I'm going to be here for a while doing that. Alright, so how I'm going to mount the skid steer plate on that bucket, just like this one is you got the bottom edge of the bucket right here, and then the bottom of the plate. So what I did is I put this piece of metal right here, like that, so it's on level with the bottom, and then the bottom of the plate is right here, the attach plate. So I got about 5 inches from the bottom of the bucket to the bottom of that. So you come over to this bucket and do the same thing. Got the bottom of the bucket. I go up 5 inches. I put a mark right there. You can see it right there. So I measured down 2 inches. So the skid steer plate is 16 inches from that corner to the top corner. So then what I did is I measured from the mark I put there up 16 inches. So there's where the top of the plate's gonna go. The plate is 46 inches wide. Half of 46 is 23. Here's the middle tine. So 23 inches on each side, that gives you the edge of the plate. So simple math, easy. So I'm gonna get that set up here. I got all these things ground off. That ended up taking about an hour. As you can see, I had to cut them up in pieces to get them off. There's the pile of the pieces. There's at least 10 pieces I had to cut those into. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can buy an adapter plate for this application that will adapt the John Dong onto the skid steer. But I don't have any use for that, and they're expensive, and one of them isn't available right now. So I don't consider myself ever owning one of them tractors. So this is the way to go for me. So I mean, you could do whatever you want to your bucket, but this is what I want to do for mine. Floor jacks are perfect for doing this kind of stuff because you can get it exactly where you want it. That looks pretty good right there. I'm gonna hurry up and put some tack welds on it before it moves. I got it tacked in 4 spots. Before I weld it up, I'm gonna put it on the skid steer and just test it and make sure it's the height that I want before I weld it solid. So we'll do that. it's looking pretty good so far. Let's stand back and let's see what it looks like here when I try to level it and like scrape. That's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it back on these boards right here and we'll finish welding it up. Alright, now it's painted. Now I gotta figure out which one of these goes on which hose. I would assume that the female, or the male goes with the male, the female goes, and the female goes with the female, but I don't know John Deere, so I'm just gonna take it apart and see which one of these hoses goes where. I'd rather try to get it right the first time than take it apart again, because then there's going to be oil everywhere and make a mess. Alright, so looks like we got this one. Alright, so this one goes to the end of the cylinder. Okay, so this one opens and that one closes. Alright, so this one opens. Alright, so let's find out where that goes. Alright, try to keep this. Okay, so double check. Looks like the male opens it. Alright, double check that. It's down there. Okay, so the male opens it. Alright, I'm going to check out this tree shear that I built. Okay, so whenever you're dealing with hydraulics, it's obvious that this one opens the cylinder and that one closes it. So let's see here, we got so opens, so this one would open it. Let's trace that up, see. Okay, same thing, the female opens it. So if anybody ever needs a reference, I guess it's the same. The female opens it and the male closes it. Simple, I guess. Alright. See if we can do this without making a huge mess. Off to a good start already, I see. Okay. Okay. Well, if you were paying attention when I had the time lapse on and I was flipping this thing around for it to weld the other side, you see that I had a hell of a time. And I ended up dropping the freaking thing and bending one of these lines, so hopefully I didn't ruin anything. Alright, so one last thing, it came with this hose holder here. I'm not sure if this will work on my skid steer. I hope it does, because this will be nice. I've noticed with using grapple buckets in the past the hoses like to get tangled up and stuff. If it don't work, all I gotta do is just take it off. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's gonna work or not, so I just have to wait till we hook it up and find out. It's starting to rain harder and harder. Well, I guess we're gonna be waiting for another day to test it out. It is pouring out. So for you guys, it'll probably be about a half a second, but I think it's supposed to rain like this for a couple days, so I guess we'll see everybody in a couple days when it dries up. Well, it finally stopped raining, so I say we go give this thing a little test. First thing I'm going to do is put some grease in these fittings though. Well, I'm super happy with this thing. It works amazing. I finally got a grapple bucket. All the welds and everything held together. It works really good. As you can see, it had no problem picking up those big logs and whatever else got in its way. It makes an awesome rake and rock bucket and everything. So it did a really good job cleaning up over there. Alright, a couple more things I'm going to fix here. The other day, my Lincoln 180 MIG welder, the liner burned up on it. It shorted out, so I had to get a new one. I got this one here. This isn't a Lincoln one, but it's just like an aftermarket one. That company right there, HTP, I guess. So let's go ahead and put this in and try her out. The thing I hated about the last liner is it was short. It was only like 8 feet or something, so I got this one's 12 foot. So I think I'm going to be a lot happier with this one. Well, so far so good. Let's plug her in. See if it works. Alright, when I put new wire in a welder or feed the wire through for the first time, I like to take the tip off. That way nothing binds up. And I like to make sure the hose is nice and straight. Alright, there we go. And put the tip back on. Put the nozzle on. Alright, let's try this thing out. Alright. Works really good. I'm happy with this. You know, I like this too so it doesn't get kinked. Works really good, so I guess that's all fixed. Alright, well, one last thing here I want to do. Earlier when I first started making videos, I built this firewood kiln. for the people that are wondering, follow-up video, or if you're just tuned in to watch me, yeah, this firewood kiln, or before I say that, I said I would do a follow-up video on the firewood kiln, and I never did. This thing turned out to be a complete waste of time. As far as a firewood kiln, what I did gain out of it is now I have a furnace house for my garage, and we turned out to have a beautiful pavilion, gazebo, shed, whatever you want to call it, to sit in the summertime and enjoy fires, music, hang out, enjoy the quiet, enjoy the pond, all the scenery. So yeah, it just took, like, it took a week straight to dry 2 of those pallets of wood, because that's all that would fit in there. I mean, I could have done something better, but you know what, for the amount of time and everything that I had into feeding that fire to dry that, it just wasn't worth it. So you know what, this thing, it was a win-win. It turned out to be an awesome little hangout spot here. Hung these lights up in here. You know, there's the loft up there. You know, everybody that seen me build the video, or yeah, build the shed. If you didn't see it, go check it out. That's one of my first videos, so it's not perfect, but it was pretty fun building this thing. But yeah, you know, here, let's sit down in the chair so you can see everything. See, that's the view you get right there, looking at the pond. You know, you can hear all the frogs and everything out there. So, but yeah, so I mean, that's all I'm gonna do for the follow-up for this thing. So I guess if you're gonna build a firewood kiln like I did, you should build it so if it don't work out, or I should say when it don't work out, you can you could just use it for this like I did. So like I said, it's a win-win. You know, actually this works better anyway. As back to the Welder, this is the company right here that I got that lead from. The liner thing and the trigger, the whole set. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just, this is where I got it from. So if you need one for your Lincoln 180, there you have it. So yeah, I guess the grapple bucket's done, the welder's fixed, and we just did this last night. Actually hung the lights and everything up in here, and really happy with it. So I guess we'll stop here and see what else we can fix. I think one of the next projects I'm gonna do is I got like a handheld motorized auger thing. I don't even know what the brand is, but it's got an axle on it, hydraulic tank, a little 10-horse motor, and the thing's really heavy and it's really awkward. So I took it apart, and I'm going to build an attachment that goes onto my forks, and it's going to slide onto the forks and hook up to the hydraulic on the skid steer. And you know, it's not like a big huge heavy duty skid steer auger, it's just a light thing, so I'll have to be easy with it. But that's probably one of my next projects. I'm gonna make I'm in the process of making a couple more videos with the old Pete and the International and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. It's gonna be a surprise. So yeah, well, I hope everybody enjoyed watching me convert the John Deere grapple bucket over to skid steer quick attach, and the thing works really good. So can't wait to get a job with it now, a couple demo jobs or whatever I get, and just another piece of equipment to join the arsenal. So once again, thanks everybody for watching. Take care. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video.